republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morgan Township meeting, May 24th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
All present.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Morgan Township Board of Trustee minutes from May 15th, 2018 as written.
Second?
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And entertain a motion to approve the warrants.
Make a motion to approve the warrants from 5/16/2018 to 5/24/2018. Warrant number 8568 through 8581 for a total of $10,898.30.
Second?
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Have anyone from the audience got anything tonight? No? And I don't think our Boy Scout comes, so I'll reserve the motion to come back when he comes in. All right, Mr. Marshall,
I have nothing for tonight,
you have nothing for
Unless-
tonight.
right, unless you guys have something for me.
The only thing I had is I read through your definitions.
Okay.
I'll kind of bring it back even, I see at least one of them's here. On the private garage, are we still gonna leave the rules in it?
We must have missed that one.
Okay,
Okay, we'll pull them out.
okay, yeah, and that's the only thing I caught so far reading this, but I wanna compare it to the old ones too, so. Just a note for that. Okay, other than that, Mr. Brim.
Yeah, I did. I got it. Thank you.
It's on my phone. Thank you.
Carol needs one more sign. Got one for Carol now. Great, thank you.
Okay, first off is, I was wanting to hire at least one more part-timer, a maximum of 24 hours a week. Basically, was just wanting to use whoever's available from the firehouse that has time. Right now, Jeff Maddox and Jared Cooper are the only two that expressed interest.
They do realize they're not going to receive their firefighter pay, right?
Yes, they understand that, and they also understand that it'll only be $13 an hour.
Right.
It's separate from the fire department, so.
Okay.
So how many you wanting to have at one time?
Well, I still want Kirk James to be with me, and I want at least one more to use with, because he's not there all the time,
That's just through the summer?
just through the summer, yes.
We talked June, July, and August is what?
June, July, and August.
So 12 weeks?
Rob asked me, and I ran the numbers, and that's where we came up with the 24 hours a week maximum for this one and 30 hours a week for Kurt.
What's that figure out?
24 hours.
24 times 13. I don't know.
Is that something that you did last year as well? Bring on an extra body?
No, I did not. One of the reasons for is for when we do get started on our chip sealing, that way I still can have somebody go to the cemetery if I need to, or someone do some other projects, or if we're in a bad spot and need an extra flagger, I've got them. And then the other thing is like last week, Kurt went on vacation, so I had nobody last week. So I'm kind of wanting somebody, so you know, and maybe Kurt on his 2 days, he may wanna go on a boating trip or something, is not available, so I kinda need somebody to kinda fill that, so it's not like all the time there's gonna be 2 there. I'm just trying to get where I at least always have 1, but if I have an extra one for a couple days, that's just great. That's to my advantage, but I'm just trying to keep somebody there to keep things going, cause right now, like this week, I was not planning on cutting trees down, and we spent the last 2 days cutting trees down, cause when Mark and I finished up the spraying of guardrails on Monday, and was spraying around signs and stuff, we was down on Bay Road, and I had 3 different homeowners approach me about several dead trees on that road, and one of them we looked at Monday, and when I went back Wednesday morning, you could see it had leaned over another 2 or 3 feet. And, you know, I just figured with this being a holiday weekend and the storm's coming, it'd be the weekend that they'd come down, so I went ahead and rented a lift, and we cut all those down, and while I had the lift, we moved over to Schraden Road, and there was 2 just absolutely gigantuous, ash trees there, and like I said, I hadn't planned on doing them. But while we had the lift, the lift goes up 61 feet, and I was like, let's go and get these, because I had Kurt Wednesday, Thursday, and tomorrow, and we'll get them down. So we've got everything on Bay Road topped. There's still some stumps that we're gonna cut down later, but we just was trying to get everything topped while we had the lift, because we got them down to where we can just saw them down now the rest of the way. And we got there in Schraden, we got everything down to the ground, except for the second one. There's still probably 40, 50 feet still standing in the air. We need to lift to get that. So they'll finish that in the morning, then they'll take that lift back and then get it down on the ground. But that one went a whole lot slower because we had phone lines that were right underneath of it that we was fighting with, and it just took a lot longer to get it down. So.
And it too, when I looked at where, you know, whether we had the money for this is coming from Rob's department. This is not coming out of general fund.
So how do you schedule them? Do you schedule them like a week in advance so you don't have, you know, double coverage if you don't need it? And then are they subject to, if weather gets bad, that they go home? Or?
If it's raining and we can't work, I either tell them don't come in, or I send them home early, and they just, whatever time they put in is all they get paid for. When they're part-timers, there's no guaranteed 2 or 3 hours just for showing up, and usually they're pretty willing to do that. But what I've done is every Sunday evening, they usually text me at home and let me know what their availability is for the week. Well, that's what Kurt's been doing. I'll have to just do the same with the second person, whoever that may be. I mean, I know Jeff Maddox expressed some interest, and Jared Cooper has, but actually I'd asked Jared Cooper if he was available last week and this week, and he wasn't available either week. So
if you use one person 24 hours a week for we'll say 12 weeks, we're only looking at $3,744 plus whatever taxes, so it'd be
Right.
under $5,000.
I mean, yeah, I ran the numbers and looked
'Cause
at what I had
always do
budgeted.
35%, which is a little higher than
Yeah.
what we're going to, but yeah, you're about $5,000 ballpark if you use them every single day, so I'm all right with that.
and I'm
No,
not.
they're only using them 30 hours max.
Oh, 24 max.
For the second person, 30 max for
30 max for Kurt.
Kurt.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, if you add another that's just for one person,
all right,
so I'm good.
that's fine.
Are you okay with this, Cole?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Second thing is, we've been having a problem with birds getting in this building here. I've tried several different times to try to get up above the drop ceiling and what it is the mama bird gets in, lays their eggs, she's hatched the eggs. The baby birds get to that point where they're ready to come out of the nest, but they can't fly, and they fall out of the nest, and instead of going back, they don't know there's a hole to go out, they fall down onto the drop ceiling. And I've not been able to catch them.
Not for lack of trying.
I mean, I went up with all kinds of different, when Connie and Dale were gone, I've been up there trying to get them. While they was here, I've been trying to get them. I'll hear one, I'll go right underneath of it, and by the time I get through it, it's hopped 2 panels over.
Are they flying any?
No, they're just hopping.
What about taking one drop ceiling thing out, putting a box underneath it, see if they'll fall in it?
Well,
Well, we
I
tried
did that
that.
last night. I left that's how I've got them out before. The ones that got in that were flying, leave a drop tile out. They fly to the light because it's pitch black up there until you drop the ceiling down, and they fly to the light and come down, and then they usually just shoo them out the door.
But you can't find the hole where they're coming in?
No.
I did.
Well, I mean, we found
Well,
several,
I mean,
we can't.
you can see some of the holes where they're coming in, but in any case, the point I'm getting at is, I've called 2 different people. I called our regular exterminator that sprays for bugs here, and I asked him what he knew about being able to do something to get rid of bugs.
How about if we got you like a bird net or something? A fishing net with a long handle?
I might have been able to go if I had that,
I'm
like a
thinking
little
of
kid
low
butterfly
cost.
net or whatever.
Low-cost solution?
I might have been able to catch them there.
But that's not gonna solve the problem of where they're getting in.
I have an idea for fixing how to get them in. I seen one go in today, cause I looked, cause you've told me this. Where that green board is there, and you got the holes where the metal goes up, we need to take us a board and cut it where it's got the little grooves that go in, paint it, and put it up there. Just another trim board. You're gonna have to go through and probably take a saw and cut where you got the little arch when they go up in them. And I noticed down the side, most of them are closed, but the one on the end's open. And then those 2 little balconies out there, you can see where they're going in because you got the crap going down. I seen the bird fly over to it, and I walked over, and he went right in.
Okay.
Or
So-
like I talked with you on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, about putting a screen. Talked to Jim Parrott about that.
Well,
It's
we
kind of
talked-
like screening or mesh.
We talked about that, and I'll be quite honest, I've tried all the above over the last 5 or 6 years.
They'll peck out the screening.
I've put steel wool in, and the steel wool that's done the best, but the problem is in about a year, it all rusts and literally turns to dust. I've got that little fine wire that you put on the bottom of a rabbit hutch. Speaking of bugs. In any case, he might have dropped out of the drop ceiling when I had it open, so.
Okay.
We're painting. We got Brett up like the exterminator now. So.
More like Terminator.
Yeah. In any case, I've put them in there, but I always did that up along the, whatever they call that high piece there, because that's where I'd always seen them coming in. Well, last year I'd had Rick Engel do just what you said. He made a whole bunch of little wooden slots that fit that perfect, and he put them in there and glued them in, and
Well,
that
I'm
stopped
saying a
them
little
there.
different.
That stopped them there, but now there's other places where they're coming in, so. Which is where you're seeing, because Connie and I seen them there also. Anyway, Jim Parrott had come up with there's a caulking that you can buy, but a tube of it only goes 10 linear feet. And we'd need like 50 tubes in order to do all along the building. That'd be about $2,500 to do that. Well, then that's basically only good for a year. Now, also, I called a company called, what is it? I forget
And
the
was it
right term.
Animal Control Inc.?
Let's something, some sort of animal control company. But in any case, they said the $189, they'll come out, they'll inspect, they'll find every hole there is, and then they will give us, but it's $189 just to come out and do the inspection, look at everything, and then give us a quote. And they said that they will spend a lot of time. That's exactly what Rick Engel did, is made little wood things exactly like that.
I'm talking about the whole board. You got the board that goes there, put another board over top of it, tack it in. This board's gonna slide up. When you cut the little slots off, it's there permanently. Till that board rots away, they're not getting in.
Why do we need a whole board if you can just put like the dowel pieces of wood in those slots?
I think this would be a lot easier. I'll ask my contractor, or one of the contractors that's here. What's your suggestion? I'll put you on the spot, huh?
Good luck.
I don't know, if you took a piece of metal and you measured it, then you know how to.
Every time I've got birds out in, and they find their way back in.
Just my thought.
I'm, like I said, for the last 5 or 6 years, I've fought with them trying to keep them out, and I'm just at wit's end now.
If they're not making noise now, they're gonna start stinking if they're dead.
Yeah.
Well, we've had that before. They've gotten in the walls and died. That's when I started putting the air fresheners in the little outlets to keep them going.
So it'd be $188 for them to come out and tell us where the holes are, basically.
Yeah.
And then a quote to
And
how
then
to
they'll give you
fix
the
it.
quote on how much it'll cost to remedy the problem, to seal the building up. Then also part of that quote is they will go through and inspect and see where there's bird droppings, where there's nest that's fallen out, and they will try to clean all that up, seal it all up, and then go from there.
Have any idea what that might cost?
Sure,
I
it's
have
gonna be a
no
lot
clue.
more than the $2,500 for the copy.
I'm
Yeah,
certain
but
of that too.
but that's only gonna last 1 year.
Right. Well, what's their fix? Is it caulking or is it?
I don't know, I haven't had them out here to look yet, that's why I want them here to, but like they said up front, it's $189 just to do the inspection. Well, I've had several references that recommended them to me, and Steve Robertson's one of them. He used them to the house that he just moved out of. He had them go in, because he was having mice get in, he was having birds get in the attic and having problem with snakes, and they went around his whole house and they showed him places he never even dreamed of, and they sealed them all up. He didn't tell me how much it cost to do his whole house, but he said they was very thorough and did a very good job, and they've not seen mice or birds or snakes inside the house since they did it.
Dodge?
I don't think anybody who's gonna come and talk to us for $180 is gonna know any more than Rob knows.
Tell you what, why don't I make one, see what happens?
That's fine. We got a scissor lift out there to get you up there.
Oh, okay, a lift scissors, okay, I was
thought
seeing
you
you
were
was gonna
gonna
cut
get
it through
scissors.
paper there for a
No.
moment, Rob.
Oh, it's a lift to get you up
Yeah,
in the
a
air.
lift scissors, okay.
Then the only other thing is all cemeteries have been cut and the flags put out in them. And tomorrow the boys are gonna put the flags up in Shandon and Okeana for Memorial Day. And then we'll leave them up through the Strawberry Festival. I already got my radar signs down in Shandon for the weekend.
Did you charge the batteries?
Yes,
They've
I
been
got new
dead
batteries in it
for-
right now. They was dead for a day and a half, cause I had to took a day and a half to charge the batteries.
When you get a chance, the flag out here on the flagpole is looking pretty ragged.
I got a new one to put there
Okay.
also. I already put the new one on the firehouse, I just didn't get this one done.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Rob?
Nope.
Alright. I will go back. Does someone from the audience have something? I see. I'll have you come to the podium.
All right. So my name's Briley Rodebush, and I'm a high school student, and I serve in the student council. And we all came up with the Day of Servants that's going to happen on September 15th. And we are trying to get all different types of townships in the greater Harrison area to be a part of this service. It all basically goes back to 9/11. We're remembering how they all went from neighborhood to neighborhood helping one another with things that needed done around what happened then. So now we're trying to go based off that and trying to get all of our neighborhood communities and townships to work together to see what every township needs new of. Like right now, I know New Baltimore, because of the flood, needs a new playground, so we're going to do that. We're spreading dirt throughout the baseball fields for Harrison and I believe Whitewater as well. And then we're doing a bunch of rock painting for the little kids to get involved in the townships as well. And also I was going to see tonight if you guys had a list you guys could send to us that you guys need. We could also help out with that. And if you have any organizations, clubs, or any of you guys would like to take part in this, we would love to have you guys. Also, so far, we have broken into groups, and I'm actually the leader of our opening ceremony that's going to be held at the Activity Center. We do not know time schedules yet because it's too early in the year. But if you guys would like to come to our next meeting to hear what we're all about, it's going to be June 16th at the Coffee Peddler in Harrison at 8 a.m. And that's kind of where we're basically going to decide all of our activities. We already have the entire high school signing up for these events. And we have also canceled every single sporting event that day because we really want this to be a huge hit. So now I think my question to you guys is there anything we could do for you guys?
Do you have a website or anything that you got more information on this?
You could go to our Sign Up Genius that tells you a little bit more about it, and I can give you guys the link to that.
Okay.
And then I'll probably just email it to you,
Okay.
and you can put it among the group.
Yeah, I think our emails are all on the website too, correct?
Okay, I could
Our
email
number
it to all of
email's
you.
there, so you go right there and send that to all of us.
All right?
And this is called the Day of Service?
Yes.
Okay. And the hour, what are the hours that you're looking at?
We're trying to do it throughout the entire day, so if you don't have one part of the day free and you have a different part, there's always going to be something to do during the day. Our opening ceremony, I know that they're going to have a Air Force flag above us, and then the JRTC group at the Harrison High School is going to walk the football field, and they're going to start us off. And I know that Dunkin' Donuts is providing breakfast. And I know that they're going to have a music groups. There's prayer groups throughout the day. If you rather, instead of working, you can just go pray for everyone that's working and all the stuff that's going around so far. Also, I know that there's a closing ceremony and they plan on doing the same thing. So it's basically just going to go out through the entire day.
Okay, so our part, what we would be involved in is coming to help you to support your effort as you reach out to the communities, or what is that? What's the dynamic there?
So what I'm doing is reaching out to all of the townships. So if there's one particular thing that you guys want here, I can get a big group of people and we could just stay here and do something around your guys' Morgan Township if you guys think you need anything particular. Or you could reach out to the other townships and help them what they need. So it's kind of just a big, huge community, neighborhood to neighborhood, township, big organization.
So is it just one school district? Is it just Harrison, or is Ross local involved?
We're trying to reach out to Ross, but they haven't been a big
They haven't been
What
receptive?
word am I looking for?
Participant?
Yes. But we are trying to reach out to other schools.
We do have a big portion of Morgan Township is
Right.
South
school
Paris.
district, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Send us the link and we'll kind of toss around some ideas and see if,
We can come up with something or be part of the help.
Well, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming. It's not usual that somebody will come and pitch their school activity like you're doing, so it's quite admirable. Thank you.
September 15th.
All right. Mr. Galloway.
Okay, first thing on the admin side, I think I've sent all of you an email. I'm just going to kind of clarify a little bit from Miami University and Dr. Russo. We talked last meeting that the gentleman that was going to come here, Jacob Bergerman, he had a family emergency. He was not going to come back for the summer semester and the summer internship for us. Dr. Russo tried at the last minute to find a backup, but they had already secured jobs and other internships for the summer. So we're going to move forward and get an intern in the fall program, and then he has a short list of folks that are in this. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the acronym, but it stands for the Center of Public Management and Regional Affairs, Ohio Public Leaders system at the school, and there's just a very small limited folks that's in that part of it, and he's going to try and secure us an intern for that, which is more the governmental affairs for that would be starting in January semester, this winter semester. But for now, we've got a fall. We're going to talk about somebody in fall for that for an internship. So unfortunately, both him and Jarrett and Mr. Bergerman were very upset they couldn't pull it off for the summer, but it was definitely a family emergency. The other thing is, and Connie and I update on our township health insurance renewal, so it's got to be renewed July 1st. We set up today an appointment with HR Butler. They're coming down on the 11th of June. We're going to meet with them. We've got two other folks now. Highland Insurance, Carrie, has another company, an offshoot of them that they recommended that's going to contact us for a quote. And then Connie found another. So we have 4 requests out there, or 2 quotes coming back and 2 more requests. So we're going to start interviewing those folks starting the week of June 11th, and then we're going to kind of bring it back to the board what our recommendations are. Unfortunately, because of lining these folks up and having a deadline of July 1st, we may have to have an emergency meeting sometime in the 3rd week to get all of the insurance stuff out there. So that's just the update on the insurance and where we're at on the renewals. Any questions on the admin side? If not, we'll move over to the fire side. Okay. Just wanted to go over, it's been a while since I've kind of updated where our staffing is. So if you look, you'll see our first sheet. It's got all those little blues and yellows. That's our actual staffing sheet. And you'll see at the top, units 1A, 2A, 3A, 1B, 2B, 3B. The blue highlighted boxes are a paramedic, and the yellow boxes are the ones that we fill with a PRN or a part-time person. So we've done really well filling in almost all of our folks on a unit day, both day and night. With that, we have 2 new paramedics, as you know, Justin Brim and Michael Flavin. We have another one that is past his written part of his his National Registry exam and just is waiting to take his practical. That would add a 3rd medic. That's Jacob Smith. That would be on the 3A shift. So between that and the folks that we have in the PRN, we're doing very well. I will tell you that we are doing very well on our folks and our staffing. With that being said, when we went to the minimum manning, I kind of projected an $18,200 window for the year. We're on a pace right now to spend about $15,600. So the pace is getting less because we've filled these unit day spots here and not have relied as much on the part-timers doing the fill-in as the unit day. And all these folks have actually said, we want this unit day. It's consistent with them and every 6-day working. So with that being said, we, again, are we're lucky versus a lot of the other departments around the Southwest Ohio area that we have a good, solid staffing. And again, just to reiterate, Connie and I worked on the numbers. We're kind of on a pace to be about $3,000 less in spending for minimum manning to fill those gaps than we had anticipated budgeting. The other piece you'll see in there is just our staffing. I mean, our roster. This will be the other one you'll see here with just our roster and our seniority folks. And the unit they're assigned, if they're highlighted in yellow, then they're a PRN person. We normally carry a roster of 30, but because we have so many unit day folks now, I'm hesitant to pick too many more up to get to that 30 because then the PRN folks are not going to get enough hours to work. So we've got a couple of other folks that are showing some interest to come join us. So I'm thinking maybe we may push it to about 27, 28 for a roster now, not go to the full 30, to be fair to all the part-timers that they get their time to work and their hours. Any questions on the staffing?
Is Bill Zoe staying, or is he?
So he got a full-time job at Cintas, so he is now going to, at the moment, he's informed me he's going to pull back and just do nights, just the 1800 to 0600, and then may pick up a full shift on a weekend. But, you know, when you're working a 40-hour week, I don't know how much we're going to see of Bill. So, and then Alicia Henson, you'll see her name there in the medics at the bottom in the appearance. She got hired on by Cincinnati Police Department. She had to go through their mandatory 6-month police academy, which banned them from working anywhere else. She's informed me she'll be coming back and picking up time in July, the month of July. The month of June, Lieutenant Galloway and Captain Fawns have been instructed to get her all back up on her protocols and all of her competencies so she can get back on the schedule July 1st. The benefit with her now with working Cincinnati PD is they work, I think, 3 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days on. So her goal is those 4 days off is to like pick up maybe 1 to 2 12-hour shifts to get back in and get her certifications and her experience back up. So she'll be coming on starting July again and picking up a schedule. Next, if there's no questions on that, next we have the 5-year capital plan. That's this big sheet I gave you here. This has always been a work in progress. This is our 5-year plan, capital projects plan for 18 through 2020. You'll see in 2018, ones that are green have already been completed or in the process. We have 2 Swiftwater technician folks that are going to the Indiana River Rescue School the week of June 11th. That's Lieutenant Browning and paramedic Kyle Temple. They're all signed up. We ordered the 8 new MSA air packs with the 16 bottles Monday with the PO. We'll talk about the addition to the station, then the EMS levy passed. There's been an issue that just came up Monday with our tanker. If you see, the tanker would be 20 years old in 2021, and in 2020 we're going to start doing the replacement and the specs on it. It's got a decent leak in the pump packing and the pump on it. Vogelpool advised us Monday that it's got extensive corrosion and electrolysis inside the pump, and it may not make 2 more years. So it's a possibility that we're going to have to move up the specking of the tanker sooner than the 2 years because of that reason. We're going to get some more there. Vogelpool is going to get back with me with some analysis and stuff on the pump and let me know, but I think that might have to be pushed up, and we push the re-chassis of Medic 142 back into the 21-22 year and move the tanker up, just kind of switch the 2 vehicles because of that reason. The fire levy, we did confirm, me and Connie, that is up again for renewal in 2020. We found the paperwork on it yesterday, I believe. So that is going to be coming up in 2020 for the fire levy. Any questions on the 5-year plan and the capital projects and where we're going to have to kind of move the tanker up in that process? And we did actually, myself and Lieutenant Cooper found a couple of designs we liked at FDIC on 2 new tankers, and we really did like that. We've discovered, as everybody knows, our ISO, our fire insurance rating went down to a 5. We're going to ask for ISO to come in and revisit us this fall, and hopefully we can get to a 4, maybe if we're lucky a 3, but a 4, which would lower fire insurance rates, home rates even lower. But I believe now, doing some preliminary research with ISO, we have to keep that International Rosenbauer and have a second engine for ISO rating. So if we tried to condense the tanker and the pumper down to 1, we would be penalized that that's not a tanker, that's not an actual pumper, that's a dedicated backup pumper, and we're probably going to get hit hard on ISO. We probably would lose the 5 and go back down to a 6. So looks like we're going to have to, I'm still doing some research with Captain Fawns, but it looks like we're going to have to keep the Rosenbauer as well. So as it looks now, we'll just replace the tanker as it is. So, okay, next is the discussion on the station and the addition. I sent everybody, and I actually put another one on your desk tonight, the RFP proposal. Thank you to Jeff Kolb. You found where I knew I would miss the dates because I had the dates in there on 2 different sections, so I did fix that. Tom, I researched back in all of Jack's notes. I couldn't find anywhere about prevailing wages in the proposal for the architect. I know it's in there for the bid process for the contractors, but I did not find it in there. In your packet, you're going to have a 1-page ORC. Let me find that here. It'll say at the very top 153.67, and it'll say announcing contracts available for professional design. This is what Jack Grove had sent me. And if you go down to just below the 153 where it says announcing contracts, it says each public authority planning to contract for professional design services or design build services shall publicly announce all contracts available from it for such services. The announcement shall, and then it has all the things down there. Pretty much the bottom one, the D one, is must be sent to public authorities that consist of a design build firm, including contractors and their entities, architects, engineers, the news media, which we know we have to post, and a legal notice, and any other publications. So if you read through this, and let me back up a second. When we had the folks in here for the workshop, we were talking about a design build process. A design build meant that we would have to hire an architect to then draw up the plans, to then hire an architect, another architect, that then we would have to use a contractor that was either attached to that architect firm. So if we go back, and as I did research, we go back to the design bid build, then we can put out the RFP for architects, interview 3. They draw the plans. Whoever we pick draws the plans. Then that goes out for bid. Then we review the 3 bids, and then we hire the contractor. To me, that seems like the better. We can put the RFP out for the architect firms and save the kind of the middleman that we had here from KZF, KDZ, whatever it was, design. It said, you know, we had to hire him as a criteria architect to do what we're doing right here ourselves. With that being said, I sent out the RFP again. I added a couple of things that are in this policy, that are in this ORC, that says you have to describe what the construction type is, which is a wood frame construction, and a couple other things. I pushed the dates back to have it not even go out till the June 11th. I think it's on the back page of that RFP. June 11th, and they had to be back July 13th at 5. I think the easiest thing is some folks have told me they know this architect firm, this architect firm. I've had a couple of people tell me they would be interested in their architect folks. Is just to push it out there as well as put a legal notice out there and see what we get back on the first round. We do have to, by the statute, interview 3 folks. We have to have three, a minimum of 3 show interest and then interview 3. We cannot go less. If that's the case, we have to rebid it. We have to post it back out again a second time. But I think if we send this out to some interested parties, some other folks, I know there's an architect in Oxford that's interested. If we push this out and then we get the folks back, we should be able about after July 13th to interview at least 3 firms. So kind of that's where we're at now. If at the point of pushing this RFP out to move, I did Barbara, help me out, Connie. Brenda had contacted me last week and just was wondering what was going on with the bond. I said we were waiting for a couple other things. We were going a little bit different direction, but I know from the standpoint of what we felt, the bond and all in her process seemed flawless. We just have not done the paperwork yet, which Connie has for the non-disclosure, non-compete, and all that, and move forward with that bond. So she didn't respond back. I said, if you had any questions, get back with me, and she did not. So I think she was understood where we were at in our process, and we're still planning on using that bond process. So that's the latest on that, and moving forward with an RFP.
Chief, I just got a question. When you post this, what website do you post these requests to?
So we'll probably post it both on the fire department and on the township website. We'll do a legal notice in the Journal, which we're required to, and then we'll put this RFP out, and I'll probably mail this in a packet to architect firms that have shown some interest, and then some other ones in the area down in the Harrison, the Butler County area. Like I said, I know one in Oxford that would come in and do it. So I'll send those packages out. I'll just take this package up, mail it out, and then also on both websites, and then do the legal notice.
Yeah. Do most people go to the fire website to look for contracts?
Probably not as much as they would on the township website, because I know architects or contractors mainly are always fishing for project work on governmental websites. I know back when I was at the county days, they were on there every day because stuff was always posted on there. We'll put it on there, but I think the biggest draw we're going to get is when we send the packages out to the actual firms in the mail. I think that's how we're going to get the most action.
Like when we advertise the mowing equipment, there is a deal.gov website that I would almost think that you to legitimately post this, you would have to go to some official site where it would be totally unbiased who would see it.
That's what the legal notice in the newspaper.
That's the legal notice in the paper would be, that's what we're required to do, is a legal notice to say Morgan Township Board of Trustees is putting out a request for proposal for architect firms to do this work. For additional information, go to the website www.morgantownship.org for more information. That way we can put this on there where they can go into that. But the legal notice has to go in for 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, I would hope by then some firms that are looking for business would look at those, because there's legal notices every day for towing services or this kind of services work, that they would see that on that legal. And that is mandated that we have to do that legal part. So, and that would push them, because I'm not going to obviously put the whole 4 pages on the legal. We would push that with a website back to our website and the township website. Here's all the details and everything like that. So, yep.
Thanks, Chief.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
No. So you guys okay to move forward with this, or you want to think about it, or?
I'm all right with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
So I will work on that next week of getting that pushed out. All right, thank you. Now I'm going to pass the entry control. That's AC. He's last. He's got one, and we'll push him to the last. So if you came by, you'll see out back there's a school bus laying on its side. That came last week, and thanks to Robbie, did an awesome job today rolling it over with the backhoe and not busting any more glass out of it. So that is all set for June 6th. You're welcome to come because there won't be a meeting between now and then. June 6th. The kids will be here about 8 to get moulaged. The exercise will start at 9. So you're welcome to come here and observe. You can either come hang out. They'll have bleachers out here. Probably not. We might be able to sneak you up to the command post. It's going to be pretty hectic with 40 students and 2 helicopters flying in here. But you're more than welcome to come. That is next Wednesday. No, June 9th. June 9th at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, June 6th. I've got the 9th on there for some. June 6th. Sorry, I've got the 9th on something else. It's the Wednesday. It's June 6th at 9 o'clock. There's the 9. Yep. I got a last minute thing that has been brought up to me, and we've been doing some research, and now we got wind of another one. But so we're having some folks now in the township. They're starting to bring tree trimmings, stumps, roots, things like that. They're trucking it from other entities into Morgan Township and then burning it. We stopped our Caro a couple months ago by going out there and explaining to the state laws to him. We've got wind of another one. Rob gave me some folks, but I haven't gone by to catch them. So we're in the process now. We talked about it last night at our officers meeting. We're in the process of creating information packets when we go out to these folks, what they can and can't burn, and that's one of the biggest illegal things there is. So just probably my next meeting we'll have the package out there. Back in August, I brought a burning policy to the board, but we pulled that back for a little bit to get some clarification. That's probably going to come back again because we've got folks now that are burning tires, garbage, just everything in their world they're burning. And it's a health hazard. It's illegal. And we're going to have to start doing a little bit more of a push of education of what you can and what you can't burn. So we started last night at our officers meeting. We got some packets built. They're going to be carried in the trucks to hand people when we get these complaints. But if anybody gets word that they're seeing folks trucking in stumps or roots or stuff like that, let me know, because that is totally illegal if they're burning it. That's a big no-no.
Gentleman on Bell Road ever burnt his pile?
He is not. At least they have not called, and I go by there about once a week. From what I can see from the road, I cannot see him.
From the road anymore.
Yeah, I know. There's too much other junk. But the neighbor's been told to call us, and we've not. So I don't know if he caught wind of it or what, but he's not. He is not. So.
When I told you about it, Howard Creek,
Yep.
he burnt that pile.
Yep, I know, and I missed him, and I was down there yesterday watching to see if he's trucking any more stuff in there. Yeah, on Howard's Creek. So. Okay, last thing before we bring AC up here is I need a PO. So when they did all that work on the tanker, Vogelpool, to try and fix the packing from the corrosion, we got a bill for $2,239 from Vogelpool, and I need a PO to Vogelpool for $2,239 for the repairs on tanker 141.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And before I bring AC up here, anything for me? I have no executive session tonight, so anything for me? Questions for me? Okay, great. AC.
So in your package, you'll see a document called User Entity Control Policy, and it says Morgan Township because it's not really a fire department policy. You, as the trustees, are actually the name on the account of the medical billing funds. It's Morgan Township trustees. So I need a policy adopted. And what's basically going on in the, is it biannual audit?
Yeah.
They've included a new scrutiny of medical billing. And basically what they want to say is in billing, we call it the front end and the back end. I've always been doing the front end. So in other words, I make sure that every run on the sheriff's log is somewhere accounted for, and then I make sure that that all gets transmitted to the company. But at the back end, we got to make sure Connie gets the funds that she's due, that they say she's due. so we weren't doing the back end. She can't do the back end because when I get the billing report, it has patient names, so under HIPAA, I need to do it. It's just that simple. So she provides me what she gets every month. I reconcile to what the company says and check it. But I need you to adopt this policy so that it's recorded in the minutes, and we can present it to any auditors, and then we can present our work. I've done since December 2016 to current, because we just got wind of this from our billing company last month. They sent this out and said, you all need to be aware of this. This is going on. We did it all, and it works. Found a whole $1. They shorted us in December 2016. So, I mean, the process does work. They just, but, and I follow these exact steps that I've outlined. So I'm just looking for an.
So do we get the $1?
I don't know if we get, I don't know what $1's worth by the time I track them down. But I mean, that's up to, but at least we know we have a process, we can speak to it, and it's recorded in the minutes, and it's adopted. I don't have a policy number because I don't know Morgan Township's. I know you're redoing the township policies, but I wrote it because this is my process, and I'm responsible for it. That's
So
all.
who would be your designee?
I always put that in any policy I write. I don't have a designee. I don't have anybody else who even knows the intricacies of billing, but if I fall off a cliff tomorrow, at least the policy doesn't have to be changed. That's the only reason I put it. Because when I went to policy school, you should never just include one person in a policy.
Should this be under the fire policy or ours?
It's yours because you're the name on the account, not
Okay,
the fire
that's why I
department.
asked that.
Yeah, that's why I would just give it a fire department policy number otherwise, but it's really your policy that I'm doing on behalf. You're my boss as the chief is, but it's kind of and we need Connie, so it's.
Basically, they're wanting to make sure that AC and I are coordinating to make sure what he says we're supposed to be getting, we
We're
are
getting.
getting. And, like he said, I can't look at those reports. So when I get the monthly check
She gets the
from
check.
Medi-Cal, I give him a copy of, all of the information that comes with that check, and then he
I reconcile it.
he
So
reconciles it and then brings it and says, this is okay.
Does the payment or the check,
They pay once a month.
I know, does it have the patient's name on it?
No, the
No.
check doesn't,
So
but
can you create a report minus the names that you?
I could do it out. I could remove the names. It's not a big deal, but it's just easier. I have it all. I'm doing.
And he knows what
I'm
he's
doing
looking for.
75% of it anyway because I'm doing the front end. I can just do the back end. While I'm sitting down to do it, it's just easier to keep doing it. I could remove all names and give it to Connie, but it's really of no big consequence to me. It really, I did the
I'm
whole.
just worried if you fall off a cliff.
Well, then you'll have the policy that you can find all these reports on the website and print them off, and somebody else can do it. But then again, there's only one of us that have access to the website, so I don't know what to tell you. I just try to stay away from cliffs.
For any reason, would you need that paper trail without the names for your records?
No.
Because I keep it in my file. I have a file I could present
But
upon
you-
an
you
auditor.
know where I'm-
Yeah,
yeah.
when an audit, I have it all set, and by the month, so if an auditor would come, I could pull it out and show it to
If
them.
an auditor comes, do you show them the report without the names?
I would have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no right to know those names.
Okay.
It's kind of strange that the billing company does not generate a report without patient names, but in their world, that's really what they're about, is getting the compensation back from the patient's insurance.
So where are we on policies? Are we to the point where we are numbering them? I don't think we are.
No, we're not.
We do in the
Not yet.
fire department, but
I know you do in the
I
fire
know you all
department.
don't. That's
We
why
don't,
I didn't
so-
even begin to be able to give it a number
Right.
because.
And I don't think we can until we get, our intern in here to help. Right.
Usually in my other policy world, you have a date and a rescission date, and it's
Right.
usually 2 years, and I'm sure you'll build all that, but this
Yeah,
will
we'll
be
have to put a retention date in then, just so it's revisited on a
right,
regular
every
basis.
2 years, basically, is what most policies are written. But this at least would be recorded, this meeting minutes would be recorded, and we could present it to the
Do
auditors.
you want to put like a creation or initiation
I can
date
do
on
that,
here?
yeah,
Yeah, why don't we do that,
Yeah.
just so
I can do that.
we've got it. All right, I'll make a motion to adopt the Morgan Township User Entity Controls Policy, dated May 24th,
Sure.
2018.
Yep.
Oh, second.
Mr. Brooker?
Yes.
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Reinhardt?
Okay, I don't have a lot tonight either. I am happy to report that all of the overpaid firefighters from last year have now paid their balances in full. We no longer owe the auditor any money, so,
I think everybody received, I know I received my letters, so I was
yeah, so.
ecstatic when I saw it.
And I contacted Daryl to make sure he knew, but he'd already received his letter, so. It only took us 11 months, but we finally got it done. Okay. The other thing, Bureau of Workers' Compensation, I think maybe some of you might have read this in the paper. We are going to be getting a rebate back on the premium that we paid for 2018 at roughly $11,000 will be our rebate. We only paid $13,299 plus the extra that I did for the true-up, which I think was about $2,500. So that's a significant savings for us. That's the good news. The bad news is because of our previous experience over the last 4 years, our premium for 2019 could be as high as $32,000. And this is, I'm getting this from Andy Frank. I've had several conversations with him now about this. And of course, though, there would be a rebate then after that, more than likely, but I think the BWC was estimating it at about 26. They weren't quite as high as Andy.
So they're taking our money, getting their interest, and then they give part of their money
Right.
back, which they, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yes.
So why, would there be a possibility in 2019 that we will get a rebate?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there is that possibility. I think at least the last 2 years, we've gotten a rebate, yeah. And our rebate will come probably in the fall, as what Andy has said, probably in September. And Andy and I have went through all the ways that we can do possible savings, like by paying our premium upfront, one payment for the year instead of dividing it up, we get a savings. If I pay it online, we could get a Go Green savings, which I haven't done, but I think we probably will do this year. There are a couple other things in there that because we're in a group retro plan, we get savings. The one thing that we haven't taken advantage of is if we join the Hamilton Safety Council, we will save about $640 annually. It will be at a cost of about $130 per year. That fee is based on our number of total employees, so I have to tell them that when we enroll. That enrollment is in July. In order to get that savings, we have to attend 10 meetings per year in order to receive that. I've talked to the chief about this, and he's aware of the Safety Council. He's been on their board, so he knew what I was talking about. And he and I discussed, and we included Rob. He just doesn't know it yet.
Rob's already been involved with that many, many years ago. I went to it for every meeting they had for 5
I
or 10
did too.
years. It's just, for some reason, we quit going here about 5 years ago.
So we were members of it?
Yep, we were members of it, and we were
And
members of it
I've
for
looked.
Yeah,
that
but
reason right there.
let me put some input on this. You take the 640 minus 130. That goes you down to 510. We take an employee, we'll say at $26 an hour. We give him 2 hours for each 10 meetings. It'll cost us $520 without any of his insurance or anything else to go do that. You end up spending more than you save. That's why we quit it at work. That's why a lot of people have quit it. It costs you more to do it than what you're saving.
But if I go, you're already paying my salary. It doesn't make any difference.
Well, that's true. But usually it's been an employee that's went.
And the chief, and I talked about it, and he's salary too. We could rotate. I mean, it's up to
But
you.
it's still costing for the chief to go because you're still paying his salary and you're
That's
taking
true.
him away from doing his job here at the firehouse. So
Okay.
So how long do the meetings last? About an hour?
About an hour.
You figure 2 hours. Time you drive there, you drive back, and I'm not including the gas and the wear and tear on the vehicle. I'm just talking straight salary, not even insurance, not any of that you got to include in that 2 hours.
what Brett's talking about, that's the exact reason why we quit doing it, because that's when Bob Copeland was still here. And Bob Copeland always crunched the numbers, and he said, we're spending more money and we're gaining, so I
That's,
said, stop going. So,
we quit doing it at work too, because it cost us more to do it than it did than what you saved.
Okay.
you know,
Now, if you guys got a
one-
different idea,
The one
I'm with you.
good thing about it is you do see some, pretty interesting safety things and stuff.
you used to, there at one time, they got pretty poor. Now, I don't know how they are now, cause like the last
Well,
year
when
or two, it was.
let me
it
say,
was-
when I first started going,
They were
there was a
good.
lot of good safety things. They had a lot of good speakers that come in. There at the last, we wasn't getting anything out of it. Just basically show up, drink coffee, eat donuts, and go
It's
home.
7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's yeah, and so, I mean, I would teach some segments, and then I would go to some, so I was on the board. You'll have like OSHA come in and do an OSHA thing, and 1 month, and somebody may come in the next month and do a fire safety program. Unless it's changed, Danny Crank's the president, the chairman of it, unless he's changed, he was in for years. But yeah, I mean, it's at the old Kroger's down in
Yep.
Hamilton, so it's a little bit of a road trip from here. I think on the surface, Connie and I talked about ways to look at savings, but we didn't crunch the numbers and all that. We didn't do that part of it, say, really, you're either breaking even or losing money going there. So, I mean, that was only, I think Connie's point is this any way we can save on the workers' comp.
Well, I look at it two ways. We weren't getting much benefit. It cost you that much for the go, not to mention you're losing 2 hours of their work here on top of that. Cause at $26 an hour, it come out, we lost $10 just to go to the 10 meetings. Plus you lost the 2 hours of work here on top of it, or 20 hours of work for the 10.
So we could hire that part-timer for and send him to that.
It's not an employee.
Okay.
Just fill a seat, right?
My opinion is no.
Just keep
But
working
I don't
on
know
the
what the other
birds.
two is.
I
You
agree.
guys,
I agree with you.
I don't see a benefit.
Okay, that's fine. It's my job to bring this stuff to you and let you decide, so, fine.
We're good.
It was amazing how easy that was. Good, God, that made my night. I finally smile in the house.
That's all I have, except our next meeting is gonna be like in 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. It's not till June 12th, and I will have bills that need to be paid before June 10th. So sometime that first full week in June, I'm gonna have checks signed.
Just let me know when.
Okay.
Text, call, email, whatever you want.
Okay.
All right, anything for Connie?
Nothing,
All right, Mr. Cole,
nothing tonight.
Mr. Brocker?
Nope, I'm good.
The only thing I have is I haven't got a hold of Mr. Arcaro yet, and that's about it for tonight.
All right.
On that other subject, unless I got anything else from the audience before I close it out. If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Updike?
Yes.
We are adjourned.
We'll stop the tape.